Welcome back to another boxing video for the All Takes No Whiffs podcast. In this video, we will be previewing the fights for this weekend, January 21st. Um, we have a pretty solid card this weekend. We have a DAZN card that is headlined by Chris Eubanks Jr. Versus Liam Smith. This should be a pretty solid card all around. It's an all British card, I think. But Christian, what are your thoughts on this?
All British card. I know British fans of boxing, they ride hard for their fighters, so it's gonna be an exciting environment. I could say that for sure. And there's some solid names on this for sure. Off the top of my head, Joseph Parker. Even though he's coming off of a loss, he's coming
Brutal
back and
knockout.
hopefully coming back. Yeah, brutal. And we're not over
We're,
exaggerating
we're not
this,
over
guys.
exaggerating at all. It was
Brutal,
nasty.
brutal. Yeah. But he's looking to bounce back with a vengeance. And I'm also familiar with Chris Eubank, of course. He had a big fight matched up with Connor Ben, which didn't pan out because of the juice. But he's fighting another solid opponent in Liam Smith, and I'm looking forward to getting into this.
But before we get into it, we want to give another little shout out to someone in our comment section. We had Illusion Me. I think that's how you say your name. He said, "Y'all keep up the good work. Stick to it. Be yourselves and be humble." We appreciate that, honestly. That's some really nice words. We're doing this for y'all. We really love this, and I hope to keep on doing this for a while. But we appreciate the kind words.
Much appreciated. We always stay real. All takes no whiffs. We don't miss over here. So keep tuning in, and hopefully we can keep doing our thing. To get things started with this DAZN card, we have Joseph Parker returning to the ring against Jack Massey in a 10-round heavyweight fight. Jack Massey, all I'm going to say is just keep an eye out for Joseph Parker. He may be coming into this fight, like I said in the intro, looking for a
Angry,
vengeance. Yeah, angry.
angry.
Looking to kind of clean up his name because against Joe Joyce, you know, I said we weren't over exaggerating, and it was just that crazy that it needs to be brought up again. Brutal knockout by Joe Joyce, and Joseph Parker needs to bounce back, and he's facing a solid opponent in Jack Massey. Jack Massey has not been in the ring for quite a while, and I'm pretty sure he's got a lot of stuff going on in his life. So I don't know. Hopefully he's got his head on straight for this fight because this is no opponent that you can take lightly.
Yeah, Jack Massey he's had a lot of stuff going on in his personal life the past year. Even before that there was COVID and everything, but I hope everything is going better with him. I know he was having some complications with his wife and them having kids, but hopefully that is getting better. I know he's actually due for a kid in June, so that's why he's back in the ring just for that. But he took the year off and has basically been with the scaffolding business with his brother for the past year. So he has like zero training and took this fight on 6 weeks' notice. So this is a very interesting fight for him. His only loss is actually to someone who is later on in this card who took his British title. But I really just don't see this fight lasting too long. Parker's probably going to be coming out for revenge with his last fight. And Parker's honestly just a better fighter. He's not the best on his feet. He's not the quickest, but he's got the best power out of these two, and he's got a lot more experience than Massey. The names on his list compared to him are very different. He's fought Anthony Joshua, Dylan White, Andy Ruiz, Derek Chisora twice, and then, like we said, a brutal knockout from Joe Joyce. But this guy's got a lot of names on his resume. He actually beat Anthony Ruiz, or not Anthony Ruiz, Jesus, Andy Ruiz in 2016, I think it was, to take over the title then. So he is a former world title holder too. So that's just a little another nugget for him. But I don't think this is gonna be the best fight for Jack Massey.
Yeah, and I feel like a big factor as well is Jack Massey coming off of a loss. He's coming off of a loss in cruiserweight. This is him moving up to the biggest weight class in boxing. And Joseph
I
Parker
didn't even think
himself,
of
I
that.
would say, a bit of a big heavyweight. So, yeah, this right here, I don't know. this just kind of spells a bad scene for Jack Massey, in my opinion. But this is boxing. Who knows? Jack Massey could come through revitalized and doing his thing. But as of right now, I'm kind of leaning towards a Joseph Parker knockout.
Yeah, I'm definitely leaning towards a Joseph Parker knockout. I wouldn't be surprised if this goes all 12 or all 10, to be honest, but I'm definitely leaning towards a Parker knockout. That's what I want to see, to be honest. I want to see Parker come back with revenge from that last fight and kind of get back on track. To be honest, whoever wins this fight, I mean, good for them. They're in the heavyweight division though.
Yeah. If they win this fight, whoever does win it, it's not going to be much progress towards the title because there's a whole lot of traffic at the top right now. So
Hold on,
best of luck.
before you get into something else real quick, would you want to see maybe someone like Jared Anderson fight Joseph Parker if he were to
Oh,
end up winning this?
that would be a banger, but
I think that would be a good test for him.
a huge test because Joseph Parker
I
is
think Anderson would win.
he's got more pop than him. I'll say that for sure. Yeah. I do think he has more tools as well. I would have to agree with you, to be honest with you. It's just at the same time you can't count Joseph Parker out, and you can't count any heavyweight out really. But Joseph Parker, he's no slouch. That's the only thing that's making me a little hesitant. But
I'm
Big
just
Baby,
trying
I
to get
think got
Jared
that.
Anderson. I'm just trying to get him up there. I want to see him in a title, dude. I love this guy.
You try to see him in a world title fight as soon as possible. I feel that.
Yes, dude. I think this would definitely catapult him up there a little more. But I mean, I just want to see him in a big fight soon. Dude's got some raw power and looked really good in his last fight. I just want to see him fight someone a lot better than who we think he's going to fight. But I digress on that.
No, I feel that. But yeah, regardless, I think this could be potentially a good fight if Jack Massey is on top of his stuff. But who knows? He's been out of the ring for a while. Who knows what to expect? But as for the next fight, we will be previewing, excuse my pronunciation, Ekow Essuman up against Chris Kongo. They're fighting a 12-round fight for Essuman's Commonwealth titles. And yeah, I don't have too much knowledge on these guys, to be honest with you. But their records definitely stack up well. They don't seem like they have the most power, but I don't know. This could be something interesting. 18-0, 7 knockouts, 14-1. Those type of records, those are the kind of fighters that are on the right path. But we just got to wait and see. What are your thoughts on this, Alex?
Yeah, I think this is gonna be a nice little chess match. Doesn't look like you said these guys have too much power, so it looks like this fight may go all 12 rounds, which is what I'm kind of expecting. I'd like to see a nice little chess match going back and forth, see who can really be the better boxer in this fight. But Ekow Essuman is actually defending this title for the third time, so let's see if Kongo can take it from him. There's not really too much to talk about more about this fight other than that, but this should be definitely a solid fight for this card.
As I said, don't know much about these guys. I'm going to guess an unanimous decision victory for Essuman defending his titles because he's undefeated. I feel like, I don't know. I just think he's kind of got the edge. So, yeah. Hopefully he keeps that undefeated record. But as for this next fight, some guy that we mentioned earlier who Jack Massey is probably not a big fan of, you got Richard Riakporhe versus Krzysztof Glowacki in a 12-round cruiserweight fight. This matchup right here is definitely a solid one. Riakporhe coming off of a victory against Jack Massey, who is now moved up to heavyweight. Riakporhe is 15-0 with 11 knockouts. That's definitely a solid ratio. But then you got Krzysztof Glowacki, who is a very experienced cruiserweight. He's been in the ring with a couple of names, including my number one pound-for-pound fighter in the world, Alexander Usyk. Yeah, this definitely could be a matchup that can make for a really solid fight. Glowacki, I'm assuming he's past his best, and maybe he's looking for one of those Twilight performances. And Riakporhe over here looking to defend the title that he won against Jack Massey. So I think there's a good amount on the line for this fight, and it could be something interesting.
Yeah, I think this is just going to be a nice little step up fight for Richard Riakporhe. Krzysztof, if that's his name, I don't know. It's kind of weird way.
We're trying.
Being in boxing, it's really hard saying a lot of these names.
We are
Being
trying. That's all
international,
I gotta say.
yes, we are. But I think Glocky's kind of past his prime. I mean, he's definitely past his prime, but in his past few fights, he hasn't looked the best. He looks like he's slowing down a little bit, which he's not too much older than Richard, actually. He's only 3 years older than him, and Richard got a late start in his boxing career. Actually started when he was 19 years old, so he's gotten a real late start. But there's a big size difference in this. Richard is 6'5", Krzysztof is 6 foot, so that's 5 inches. There's a 2-inch in reach advantage in this too. That's a pretty good reach advantage. But I think that size and power are going to be the difference in this fight. And I don't know if I really see this fight ending early. I I think Richard's gonna win on points for this fight, to be honest. I don't think that Glowacki is gonna go down easy, and he's been in the ring with some pretty good people, like Christian said. He actually beat Stephen Cunningham, former world champion at cruiserweight, so uh, he's no slouch.
Yeah. So the way I see it, as Alex said, size and power, that's going to be in Richard's favor. But at the same time, I think experience for Glowacki, that could always be something. It just really depends on how he comes into the fight physically. Because if he could actually execute and put that experience to use while being on top of his physical game, we could be in for a surprise. But as of now, I'm gonna have to agree. I got Richard Riakporhe winning by a decision.
Yeah, and it's gonna be a nice little scrap for the co-main event too. Like I said, neither of the guys are no slouch. Glocky, he's coming up on the end of his career, but he's going to bring it. I know he is. He's looking for another chance, a last chance, maybe at a title. So let's see what these two got and see where these two are going to go next.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that fight this weekend. But for the main event on this DAZN card, you got Chris Eubank Jr. versus Liam Smith in a 12-round middleweight fight. This is a solid matchup right here. These are definitely two very recognizable names in the world of boxing. Chris Eubank Jr., son of boxing borderline legend Chris Eubank Sr. His father was really fun to watch. And the thing is with Chris Eubank Jr., I feel like their styles are very, very different.
Complete opposite
Chris,
almost.
yeah, Junior, he trains under Roy Jones Jr., actually, one of the greatest fighters of all time. And you can see he really tries to emulate Roy Jones' style, incorporating a lot of lead hooks more so than the jab. That's one big thing I noticed. But working with Roy Jones, that could be it's a huge plus, I feel like. And I think Eubank Jr. has polished up on his skills a good bit. At the same time, Liam Smith is no slouch, brother of Callum Smith, who is killing it at 175 right now. Liam Smith still around middleweight. I remember him in his fight against Canelo. Didn't go well for him, but when you get a Canelo fight, you got to at least be half decent, in my opinion. Unless you're that one opponent he had for mandatory during his undisputed run. I can't remember his name. But regardless of that, unless you're that guy, you're solid if you get a Canelo fight. So these are two names right here that are definitely these two guys right here can make for a real solid fight, I feel like. And stylistically, I like how this fight matches up as well.
Yeah, and kind of go off the Canelo thing you said about Liam Smith. That's the only time he's ever been stopped in his career. So if you're going to be stopped by someone and the only person to do it's Canelo, I mean, that's probably a pretty good person to have it done by, to be honest.
Yeah.
But to go on kind of a little more of this fight, kind of like you're saying, the styles, I mean, these guys are kind of complete opposites. Chris Eubank Jr., he comes out guns blazing, which is kind of maybe a bad thing for him because Liam Smith is a second half of the fight fighter. He gets stronger as the fight goes on, and maybe Chris Eubank will get tired out. So that's why I think this fight's going to be really interesting. I think it could be first half Eubank and then second half Liam Smith. So that's kind of how I'm seeing this fight going on right now. I actually read an article this morning from the ussun.com, and they actually interviewed Liam Williams, who's actually fought both of these guys, and he's actually fought Liam Smith twice. He's lost to both of these guys, twice to Liam Smith, but his insight on this fight was kind of interesting. He said that Chris Eubanks is the better overall defensive boxer. Liam Smith is still good defensively. You're gonna hit him, but you're never gonna hit him clean is the thing, or at least that's what he said when he came out of his fights. He said that he was never really able to hit him clean in the head, in the body, or anything. He was always hitting him in the arms or gloves. So that's just kind of something I kind of took out of that. May not be something really too much to look into because I mean Liam Williams did lose to both of these guys and isn't that notable of a fighter, but I thought that was kind of interesting that that someone who has fought both of these guys got interviewed and kind of talked about each of these guys.
Oh yeah, for sure. That's somebody who has a perspective to offer that not many people can. So definitely some input. I feel like that should at least be heard. But I defensively, I definitely agree that Eubank is the better of the two. But to be honest with you, I just think overall he's just kind of the better fighter of the two, like more polished between the two. I think training with Roy Jones, I might be a little biased. I'm a big Roy Jones fan. I think training with Roy Jones is probably a big factor into him being more polished because he's improved a lot in his career, especially the past couple of years. And this is just something exciting to look forward to for both of these fighters. I know with Chris Eubank Jr., he had a mega fight for British standards lined up against Conor Benn, which was canceled because Conor Benn decided to do steroids.
Juicing.
Yeah, but hopefully Chris Eubank Jr. can get whatever recognition he would have got for that fight. Hopefully he gets it this fight. Hopefully a lot of people tune into this because I think this can make for a really solid main event. Good card by DAZN overall, all in my opinion. Not the craziest, but it's something to offer for sure.
And that does it for another boxing video for the All It Takes No West podcast. Another preview for some pretty good fights this weekend on a pretty good DAZN card. And I know that we are both really looking forward to these fights this weekend. It's going to be a really good card, but we'd love to hear what y'all have to say about it down in the comment section below. Let us know who you think is going to be winning these fights and who you think is going to be winning the main event. We'd love to hear what y'all have to say. And also, if y'all like the content you see and what you heard in this video, make sure y'all make sure y'all subscribe. Make sure y'all turn on notifications to know when we post new content.
And for anyone who wants to share their thoughts on these upcoming fights, you can also let us know at any of our social media pages. You could find our Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook all at ATNW Podcast. And if you guys want, you could find my personal Instagram and Twitter at Christian_S52.
And if you want, you can find mine at ahandy2215. I want to hear all those hot takes that everyone has.
Except you Padres fans.
Yeah, honestly, except for the Padres fans, to be honest. Even though I think y'all have one of the best teams in the major leagues this year, even though this isn't our baseball video.
Yeah, even though just a little what do they call that? Breaking the fourth dimension or the fourth wall.
Fourth wall.
Yeah. But we got another solid weekend of boxing coming up, and I'm looking forward to recapping this next week. Until then, peace.